Hey, what's up, guys? Today I'm going to be talking to you about the Gear S3 and 7 things that I hate about it. So number 1 on the list is notification lag. Now the Gear S3 has a problem that when you receive a notification from your phone and then on your watch, there's a bit of a delay when you look at the watch and try to see the notification. It's like a 1 to 2 second delay where your screen is black if you're trying to look at it and then the notification loads. Now this doesn't seem like a big deal, but it is a little bit of annoying and makes the watch feel not as snappy as any other function, whereas the other features of the watch actually feel quite quick and navigating around is actually pretty fluid. So I'm wondering why there is that delay with notifications, and it can be quite annoying. The second thing I don't like about the Gear S3 is that watch faces and even the installable watch faces generally just kind of suck. Now the Gear S3 starts out with 7 or so watch faces, and 3 or 4 of these are just pretty basic dials with hand clocks and stuff like that look pretty traditional. Now I don't really like this style, and if you do, then maybe you're not going to have many complaints. But for me, I couldn't really found any of the watch faces that really suited my purposes. I like watch faces that have tons of complications, tons of watch faces that show you information like the weather, the date, the steps, very detailed watch faces. And there's really only one watch face on the Gear S3 that comes with it that you can actually use. But anyway, guys, a lot of the third-party watch faces and apps are also glitchy. Watch Face is one of the most popular apps on the App Store for the Gear S3, but it's still quite glitchy, and for some of the faces would load properly onto my watch, but things like steps or even the weather wouldn't update very frequently, which made them pretty useless in my opinion, since I like a watch face that is very accurate and always updating throughout the day. The thing I don't really like about the Gear S3 is that I find some of the applications a bit ugly. Now generally the interface is actually quite good looking, even though my main watch face is a little bit boring just with one color scheme. I would like to have different color for steps and the weather and stuff like that, but it's all universally just one color. A lot of the applications like messages, as well as the default apps on the S8 or the Note or whatever Samsung device you're using, feel a little bit plain. I think that Samsung should spruce up a couple of these apps like messaging. Right now on that Gear S3 it's just kind of black and orange, and for some reason it just doesn't really feel that modern or look attractive to me. This is just kind of my opinion though, guys, but I think that some of the apps could use a visual redesign and just have a little bit more colors and pop a little bit more. This is something I also find on the default Samsung apps like messaging and some of the other apps like the email. They're just very plain, usually plain white and black text with some orange thrown in there, but I think they could take a nod from Apple's apps like iMessage and stuff like that, which has a little bit more pizzazz of blue and white and just feels a little bit more easy to read and fun to use sometimes. Another thing I don't like about the Gear S3 is that S voice is kind of not that great. Now I think the Apple Watch in some ways really competes with the Gear S3 and throws it out of the water in terms of how good Siri is getting. Now Siri is actually quite good on the latest Apple Watch with speedy response times, a variety of things that it can answer. Now the Android Wear and both the S voice, the voice assistant doesn't really work that well. With Android Wear you can't really ask it that many questions to get good answers, and these answers usually take a while. With S voice you're going to experience something similar, and you can mainly just expect to depend on it for stuff like setting timers or sending messages. But even sending messages can be a little bit laggy, although I found the voice recognition just okay and pretty decent enough to send text messages fairly reliably, so it does get the job done, but it didn't really wow me. And I think the Gear S4 or other continuing devices out there are going to see big improvements in terms of the voice dictation and how you control the watch in order to compete with the Apple Watch, which has a lot more capabilities with Siri that is quicker to reply, and it has a little bit more controls and options like the ability to show you movies and so forth. But lastly on the list, I want to talk about some of the touch controls actually feel a little bit lacking. Now sometimes when you get inside of a notification, it's almost like you're kind of stuck there. You can't swipe out of it or swipe it away. And I think some other watches have more ability to use touch controls. Another thing is that when you're using the watch like this and you raise it to watch face, you could see it, but then you can wake it by turning the bezel, but you can't actually tap to wake it. Some gestures like these just take some getting used to, and it's kind of weird why they don't include just tap to wake and some other functionalities like getting rid of notifications a little bit easier once you're inside them. Now, if you're just kind of browsing through the notifications, you can kind of swipe it away right after you receive it, but if you kind of get into it, you can't do that. I just think overall the device is lacking some touch features, but due to the bezel and the buttons, I could see why maybe they just didn't implement these or felt like they didn't need to. But for me, coming from a different watch, wearing Android Wear and the Apple Watch, it feels like some of the touch limitations are a little bit jarring. Alright guys, so I'm wrapping up this Gear S3 video. Keep a lookout on the channel for VPN content and stuff like that, but I'm also going to be doing a 10 things that I love about the Gear S3 watch. This thing was only 7, so as you can see, I actually do like the Gear S3 more than I dislike it, and I do like using it on a daily basis. Thanks for watching this video guys, and check out my next video or the other videos on my channel, and I'll see you again very soon.